I'm sure Rune is planning something. She's building up her knowledge so she can trick us. There's gotta be something she has planned. Something much worse than a Grkouwlies incident.
Wait just a minute. Wait just a moment there, Rune. Aren't you jumping to conclusions here? She's been such a good girl this whole time. Now, I'm not going to completely ignore what you're saying. But as an adult, I have the obligation to look at everything fairly and impartially.
I'm sorry. I may have said too much.
I wasn't exaggerating. Even now, I still remember that conversation clear as day. I paid no attention to Rudo's warning. That was the greatest mistake I'd ever made in my entire life. A few weeks after that, Helene collapsed. And several days after that, 12 of the top brass from Zhevit's business partners all die from Process 1 poisoning. Rune disappears from the mansion. Another few days after that, a transport ship arrives at Outer Pole. Rune's body is found on board. A few weeks later, Helene breathes her last while in Zhevit's Medica. Those events constantly play themselves back in my mind, over and over and over. From that point forward, Zhevit's began to collapse in on itself. Sid, having faced no greater calamity than this, was broken. Even though he had endured all the trials and difficulties of his past, Sid just completely broke down. He wouldn't even listen to me or Rudo. His work at the company went practically untouched. Instead, he holed himself up inside Lab 9 and barred anyone else entry. It was on one of these days. It was just as the Sisters project was approaching completion. In the end, the church refused to make use of the Sisters, but the frames that were built were repurposed to work in the mana mines instead. During a meeting to discuss where the Sisters were to be deployed, Sid suddenly showed up. What? You want to pay the Sisters for their work?
That's right. I want their service compensated.
What brought us on? Why? We're just barely scrapping by as it is. Why should we pay machines of all things?
Huh? Because that's an order. Anyone who objects is fired. End of story.
David.
Sir Sid.
Wait, I forgot. Was that you, James, or was that David?
I think that was actually me.
Okay, then this is you, David.
Are you serious, sir?
Well, you guys deal with that then.
Wait a minute, Sid. This is an abuse of power. Just tell us why. We'll listen to you.
Why the hell do I have to explain every single damn thing I have to say? Even if I took the time to explain it, you're all just a bunch of idiots who wouldn't understand, so I don't even bother. All you need to do is just follow what I say like the servants you are.
What is the matter with you, Sid? If all these people weren't here with you, Zhevit's might as well have never existed.
Who's the one that holds the power? Me. I don't need to take any smack from people without any vision.
What the hell? You just abandoned your job like that? Do you have any idea how deep in danger the company is in right now?
What did you say, boy?
Open your damn eyes, you senile old man. Your job as the CEO of this company is to reassure everyone working here. Did you forget that? What the hell happened to your sense of right and wrong? Your morals? Were you this weak that you can't even stick to them? Now that your wife is gone?
You're sure spouting some pretty big words for someone who isn't even half a man. Hey, Rudo.
Get a grip, Dad. How things are right now.
I don't need damn sympathy from the likes of you, frickin' kid. You can pretend to run the company for all I care. But this is my company. I built it from the ground up. And I can raise it to the ground if I damn well please. Now you better follow my orders. And anyone who gets in the way of my research... Ugh. Ugh.
Sir!
He's vomiting blood?
Hey, Sid, are you alright?
Don't touch me. Ugh.
Sir Sid!
Damn it.
That night I was called by Rudo. Rudo,
Just who exactly is Rudolph Zevitz?
come again?
This morning, when I looked into the mirror, I saw a man I didn't even know. That man didn't have a thread of sadness in him when his little sister passed away. In fact, I feel nothing but relief.
Rudo,
My little sister should have never been born. You just hit her head against something and died when she was young. Now, I'm finally free. Such were a man's sad, heartless thoughts. Now, Albus, it's Rudolph Zevitz, the kind of young man that would harbor those thoughts. Was he a person with such a warped heart that would instead rejoice in his sister's death, rather than mourn it? However, there's still something I owe my gratitude to that thing for. That toad in disguise taught me one thing, and one thing only. That people are always controlled by their emotions. In this era, what we need are logic and rationality. The only people who have the right to talk about emotions and sympathy are those who have thoroughly pursued logic and rationality. My father was unable to do that. He's a weak man who tried to devote himself to some sorry excuse for philanthropy. Couldn't even follow through all the way.
Rudo!
There are far too many barriers in this world. Zed Zevitz has been taken over by madness. His time is over. From now on, I shall lead Zevitz. I have the power to.
That day, the dam that had been holding Rudo back finally broke. His growth since then was incredible. That kind, warm Rudo was nowhere to be found. He had truly changed as a person. Although he was just mediocre in terms of research, his track record in management easily dwarfed Sid's. Rudo put forward an avant-garde plan to save Zevitz. In order to deal with the mass murder that Rune committed, he established the corporate system. By taking in outside investors as members of the company's board of directors, he succeeded in changing the company's image from a family business to a corporation.
Rudo, why wasn't I prepared a seat here?
Well now, His seat certainly has been prepared, Mr. Grkouwlies.
Because I demanded for one, that's why. You don't tell me you've forgotten what your sister has done. Thanks to that girl, I lost my family and my life has been ruined. Your father seems to have understood the circumstances, but what about you? Don't tell me that just because you've taken this place, you consider the past all water under the bridge, do you? For the love of... The father has gone completely insane. The son freely abuses his position, and the daughter is a damned murderer. Just what is wrong with your family, huh? I've been working in this company for 10 years. And if you don't treat me accordingly, you'd better watch out, you little punk.
Grkouwlies, did you just...
I see. If I don't treat you accordingly, I'd better watch out. Is it? My, you're quite a head on those shoulders.
What did you just... You little kid! Just try saying that
Mr.
again.
Grkouwlies, do you understand the situation you're in? Right now you're dancing on a stage, front and center. Listen, to this company you're nothing but a persistent little stain in a glass window. Leaving you on and wiping you off is no real difference. However, the more it stands out, the more an eyesore it becomes. Don't worry, Mr. Grkouwlies. No need to flounder about like that. Having gotten remunerations for both your one-eyed son and your wife, you can truly consider yourself a success in life. You can relax and let that fat belly of yours hang out as you enjoy your life to the fullest.
Why, you son of a...
If some talentless burden like you even thinks of trying something, I just swept out like the garbage you are.
Why? Who do you think you are, you son of a bitch? I don't have to take this abuse from a little shit like you. Son of a bitch! Don't think I'm going to take this lying down. I'm going to whittle you down to your goddamn bones! Mark my words!
Rudo, I can see what you're getting at, but don't you think you went a little too far back there?
Too far? What do you mean?
About Grkouwlies.
There's nothing to concern yourself over, Albus. More importantly, now that you've become a publicly traded company, there are far bigger things to worry about beyond Grkouwlies. Problems are only about to start.
Just as Rudo said, we had lost a great number of excellent employees. However, we also gained as many talented young employees. With the passage of each year, Rudo continued to rescue Zevets from the brink of closure. The company full of warmth that Sid and Aline had once protected now changed into an efficient system. Zevets grew to many times its size since Sid had first established it. It had even recovered to the point where it could trade blows with Hives. Rudo's system of corporations and stocks planted the idea of investing even among the common layman, and created an interest in business as a whole. Thanks to that, Hives found it difficult to get by on just marketing alone. Since then, Hives and Zevets have been competing primarily on the technological front. Sisters, subjects, medica, energy, pharmaceuticals, information technology. A new era of mana dawned on the outer pole. The people of the inner pole could no longer look down upon us. I believe we were able to build up an equally respectable level of technology. It was then.
An appointment? What do you mean I need an appointment?
Christine, wait, Ma.
Well, it's company policy.
Oh, come on, miss. Don't be such a hard ass. I just need to talk with him for a couple of minutes.
Well,
Hertz!
Yo, Albus! Perfect timing!
Marley, you can forget about him. I'll deal with this.
yes, sir.
Jeez. What the heck happened? Everything's gotten all by the book here now.
The direction of the company's changed and all. Time's changing.
Change it? I hate it. I hate it, I tell you. Everyone trying to be goody two-shoes now. What's the point of following the times over and over like that?
Hertzwann, you never change, do you? But really, why didn't you just tell her your name? If you had just said the name Grkouwlies, she would have easily patched you through to your uncle.
Stop it, man. Just thinking about how me and that guy are actually related is really depressing.
Duly noted. Has your dad still not reconciled with...
You mean with me? Or my uncle?
your uncle?
Can't say. I suppose when one of them kicks the bucket, the other will probably show up to the funeral. My dad. He took Marcus in and cared for him like he was his own son. Whatever happened in their place is none of my business, but my uncle's let the money get to his head a little too much. He got filthy rich, but he didn't give us a cent to help raise the kid.
Hurts.
Well, that's all in the past now. As long as he doesn't show his mug around me, then I ain't gonna do anything.
It really has been a while. Just hearing that laugh of yours puts me at ease.
That's 'cause for someone like me, my laugh's my only selling point. And how are you doing lately, Albus? Looking more and more like an old fogey, I see.
You would too if you had to deal with this much work.
You guys sure stop playing businessmen and drop by the tavern once in a while. I'm sure Sid and Rudo's got a lot on their plates, but you need a breather once in a while too.
That is true. By the way, what brings you here today?
Oh, yeah, that's right. See, Sid stopped putting in orders for clothes all of a sudden. He's always had me work on something at least once every half a year, but we haven't met for a whole year now. So I decided just to drop by and pay a visit. What's with that look of yours? Something happened?
Hurts. Sid's not doing very well right now. He's been like that ever since Eileen and Rune passed away. He's holed up in the lab, working on who knows what like a man possessed.
Who knows what? So it's not work?
He isn't even in the right condition to do any work now. Sid just refuses to listen to anyone. And when he talks, he either gives some nonsense order or says something outrageous. Rudo's taking the reins and is leading Zevitz now.
Rudo is? That's amazing! The shy little kid's taking over?
You might not even recognize who he is if you met him, Hertz. Rudo's completely changed. Actually, ever since that incident with Rune, everything's changed.
Is that so? Hey, let me meet with Sid.
Huh? You should just leave him alone for now.
Oh, come on, it's fine. If he was busy with work, then I'd think twice. But if he's just twiddling with his thumbs, then that's a different story.
It's a lot more serious than that.
Serious? Ha! That's just what you think.
Hertz, that's just what you think, but you haven't seen what Sid's like now.
And how do you think I'm gonna see if you won't let me in?
Hertz...
Look here, Elvis. In my whole entire life, Sid's the toughest son of a bitch I've ever met. He's always stuck to the guns, no matter what life is thrown at him. And you're telling me he's broken down? That just means he needs a little tune-up is all. I'll slap some sense into him.
All right. But you'd better not regret this.
Is that you, Albus? The only people that have the mana signatures to open that door's lock are you and Aline. I told you not to come here, didn't I? Hey, Albus, answer me.
Hey, good old Hertzwann's here too. Sorry, Sid. I just had to talk Albus into letting me drop in.
Hertzwann. What do you want?
What do I want? What don't I want, Sid? You've been my regular for over 15 years now. If you suddenly just stop showing up, then of course I'm gonna worry. Which is why I'm paying you a visit.
That's so. Albus. Hertzwann.
Anything.
Get out. I'm busy.
Hey now, what's with the greeting?
I'm telling you to get the hell out of here. I don't got time to waste on either of you.
Oh,
Sid!
don't touch him, Albus.
What? We need to get him to a doctor!
Sid, just how long have you been hacking your lungs up?
That ain't none ya damn business.
I'm getting a doctor now!
Don't you
Don't you even dare call a Dr. Albus!
What? Why? He's bleeding profusely here! If we just leave him like that, then...
Don't make me repeat myself. You call a doctor, and I'm gonna beat the hell out of you.
Why?
Speak up, Sid. When did these symptoms start showing up? Damn it! Answer me!
Oh. Ugh.
I can't even watch this.
I see. You can't even speak straight. Look me straight in the eye and nod or shake your head. You're damn sure you don't need a doctor.
No. Ugh. No. Piss off.
All right. If that's how you want it, Sid. Albus, we're taking off.
Huh? But...
Just shut up and get over here. Come on, we're leaving.
Why didn't we call a doctor, Hertz? How could you stay calm after seeing Sid like that?
Well, calm down for...
How could I possibly calm down? He looked like he was on the verge of dying! If we leave him be, then...
You don't get it, do you, Albus?
Get? What is there to get?
You've been with him for too long. You can't see the big picture anymore. Relax. Once you've calmed down, you'll figure it out.
What are you talking about? At this rate, he'll...
Look, if you really care about Sid, then you just need to leave him be. Let him do what he wants. Albus, I'm only gonna say this once, so listen up. The best thing you can do for Sid right now is not to let the man die doing what his heart desires. Well, I've said my piece. Whether you decide to listen or not is all on you. That stubborn son of a bitch. But I can rest easy now. See you around, Sid.
Entry number 9. Just a little. Just a little longer. I'm almost.
It was a week later. I simply could not let Sid be, and decided to head back into Lab 9. It was then.
Albus. Is this still me?
Yes, just use a different voice.
Okay. Sir Albus, we have an emergency.
Vothal, Nidche, what's wrong? You look aghast.
Oh wait, sorry. Yeah, I guess that's James.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
It's okay.
Sid. Sid activated Lab 9's emergency protocol.
He what?
James.
I thought I was Nidche or whatever it was.
I think that's his first name.
Oh, okay. All the backup mana lines have been cut.
That's absurd! The emergency protocol fills the entire lab with colored mana. If a living human being was in there, he'd...
you think Sid's trying to commit suicide?
Vothal, get Rune here now! Kirki, come with me! We need to find a way to stop the protocol!
Yes, sir.
With all our interruptions. So, how much time has it passed since activation?
Rune!
Need a backup manualize valve been severed. Is there any valuable equipment inside?
Who cares? Sid is still in there!
He is? So he is. Oh well. Let's get a doctor on standby, just in case. I swear, we're pressed for time as it is. I don't have the time to deal with funeral arrangements.
How dare you!
Why do you look so exasperated, Albus? Sid Savet's died a long time ago. All that's left in there is the deranged, hollow shell that's remained of him.
Enough, Rudo.
He died doing whatever it is he wanted doing, and good for him.
Enough! How dare you? How dare you speak like that about your father? Is that how you address the person who gave you life?
Sir, Rudo, Albus, the door is opening. It seems the cleansing's finished.
I found Sid's body inside the lab. He died from acute mana shock due to the sudden influx of coloured mana, just as Rune had. Sid! What were you trying to accomplish here? In the entire company, Lab 9 was packed with the most expensive equipment. Among the equipment there were some sensitive instruments that constantly had to have mana flowing through them, otherwise they would break down.
Kirki, lend me a hand. We need to restore the lines. Can't see a thing in this darkness.
Understood.
It was when Kirki and Vothal reconnected the backup mana lines which Sid had disconnected that we discovered.
What?
Time froze. What lay beside Sid's corpse was... I don't believe it.
What is this?
My God, is that a new sister prototype?
No. That's impossible. She's got to be human, right? Clearly.
No, there's no mistaking it. There doesn't seem to be a pulse, and I can see the irises and the cameras in its eyes.
It moved.
Alright, who activated it?
We didn't even touch it. It just started moving on its own. Can you talk? Do you have a voice feature?
Hello, world.
It seems to be the type that can speak.
Do you have a name?
Name? What is a name?
It looks like there wasn't any basic information loaded in.
A name is a term that serves as an identifier for oneself. My name is Vothal. This guy's Kirki. He's Albus, and that man over there is Rudo.
Rudo?
Oh, it seems to recognize Rudo's voice or face.
Rudo? Brother?
Must be some kind of mistake. You don't have any name, right?
Name. Something that serves as my identifier. I cannot remember. But I remember being called by something a long time ago.
Then from now on, you're Sara. Remember that.
The project file's title? How arbitrary.
Sara?
Indeed. If you're asked by anyone, then you're to introduce yourself as Sara. That's in order.
Understood.
Is this going to be deployed at the church?
The church?
It's something that happened before you joined the company. Before, when both Sid and his wife were still alive, there was an agreement with the Abbey. We would create sisters who looked just like humans for the Abbey, and they would take care of the victims of High Vez's operations. But ultimately, we weren't able to create any sisters to the standards of quality that they demanded. They said that even though they looked human externally, they were lacking on the inside.
Damn it, Dad. What are you even thinking?
It was later discovered that Sid had falsified financial records without the accountants knowing. He had laundered vast sums of money to develop a new prototype sister. Did Sid not leave even a single memo on this?
All of the documents on the manoware and software in the terminals and equipment. They've all been purged because of the emergency protocol.
And his planner? Sid always carried a planner around with him, making sure to take notes on everything.
About that. It's been burned to a crisp.
Burned?
But that's not all. Every single document Sid's kept here for the last 2-3 years were all burned. Seeing how all of his notes and documents have been destroyed so exactingly, he must have intentionally gotten rid of it all.
But then why would Sir Sid have kept working to create this sister prototype up until his death?
I've already told you about this. He was frustrated with the greatest failure in Javid's Enterprise's history. When we partnered with the church, he promised the abbot that we would make a sister that would be no different than a human being. But ultimately, we just couldn't deliver on that. I'm sure he wanted to put the final nail on the coffin before he died. Sid must have wanted to finish his greatest failure in life, the Sisters Project.
No, that couldn't be it.
What makes you say that?
If he wanted to create sisters for the church's use, then wouldn't he truly have met his goal if they could have been produced en masse? But he intentionally burned all of his notes and documentation to prevent that.
I told you he wasn't thinking about mass production, or even the company itself. He must have wanted to settle his personal conflict with himself. Otherwise, why would he have felt the need to steal funding from his own company?
Still, what is the meaning of destroying all of these documents? There must have been some other driving force behind it.
Gentlemen, you're so mistaken about the problem at hand. Whatever my father is thinking, there's no way for us to ever understand it. You question the motives of a madman. Mere act is other waste of time. Albus, we don't have the time to waste on foolish things like this. The amount of money that Sid has illegally paternal into this project of his is enormous. I'm sure there will be a meeting with the board of directors about whether or not this new sister prototype justifies cost. Now let's go to make preparations for that. Please return to your respective workstations, everyone.
Yes, you're right. It's rather hard to solve right now, but I understand.
I need to recompose my thoughts. Once the date of the meeting is set, please let me know.
Rudo, we need to talk.
I hope this is more useless banter, Albus.
Enough, Rudo. Look at that model of sister. Doesn't anyone come to mind? Look. It's clearly Rune, right there.
Right, you thought I didn't notice it either?
Then why didn't you say anything about that?
Because it's a matter of trivial importance. So what if she looks like Rune? The minor detail has no bearing on our current situation. Well, there is something now certain of.
Which is?
Sid Savets was truly ill. While still bitter about the loss of his daughter, he's infatuated with pretending that he could bring her back into life. How disgraceful. Sid Savets, the renowned scientist of the era, certainly has fallen far. Oh, now it goes without saying that the issue at hand is the numbers, our finances. I believe it's best we not discuss this with anyone else. I don't want to cause any additional causes for concern for the board of directors.
On that, and only that point, do I agree with you.
I sincerely hope that this thing has enough value to warrant its construction. Albus, please start preparing for the meeting as well.
I'm against this. Look at it. Look at Sara's mannerisms. Tell me, have you ever encountered a machine that could possibly respond this naturally, this humanly? Regardless of Sid's psychological instability, this sister is still the work of a genius, the work which he put his entire life into. Until we can understand the origins behind this construction, I believe we need to continue observing it. It's almost disgusting the way it looks so realistic. As if it were truly a human. And why? What's with the expression on your face? Is it some kind of function to upset people on purpose?
No, I apologize.
It's as if it has emotions as well. This has to have been a sister for the church's use. For it to have emotions recreated this well, it has to be a model of a sister created for its original purpose. No doubt about it.
Ha! Impossible! We need to scrap this or get rid of it as soon as possible. Despite the small frame, it possesses the strength of 10 men. If it decides to rebel against us, then who knows what could happen? Refusing to listen to other people's opinions, as always I see. Always screaming, "No, no!" and you still call yourself an adult? I was asked for my opinion, and I gave it. And I believe the same goes for you, regardless of how you choose to view it.
David, go for it.
To be honest, this scares me. I cannot, in good faith, agree with letting a machine whose thought processes we don't even understand loose anywhere near us.
I don't think those fears are really justified. Sara can speak perfectly well and is able to understand what we're saying. You only have to approach it to understand that it's not something dangerous. Besides, Sid couldn't have built something intended to be harmful to others.
Considering Sid's mental state at the time, I find that assertion rather hard to believe.
Go for it.
All this aside, everyone, please. Have you all forgotten about the money that was poured into making Sara in the first place? Was it just created to serve as some kind of trophy? To be put into a goldfish bowl of some sort? If that was created as a mere pet project, then I refuse to stand for this. We need to do something right now to mitigate our losses. But if we don't have any time to observe her, then...
It looks like we'll need to take a vote in this matter.
By a majority vote, it was decided to observe Sara. In the few weeks since then, Sara slowly formed memories, and a personality began to emerge. At first, she spoke very curtly, and did only what she was told. As time went on, she slowly became more and more human-like, to the point that other people wouldn't even notice that she was a machine. Although there were many skeptics among the board of directors, they all eventually accepted the fact that Sara was something special. Soon after, she was placed in a field test to work in the mana mines temporarily, under my supervision.
Wow, there's so many first-generation models of the sisters here, Albus.
About 90% of those working here in the mines are sisters that we built, in fact.
Good morning, everyone. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
All the sisters here don't speak. They're all purpose-built miners, so they don't have any excess functions.
I see. It's going to be a little lonely.
Do you really think that?
Excuse me?
Does that really make you feel lonely?
Well, I wonder, why did I think it would be lonely? I'm not sure if feel is the right word either. But the first thing that came to mind was that it would be lonely.
Sara worked diligently at its job. However, when compared to the sisters designed specifically for work in the mines, its results were nothing similar. Nothing spectacular. Ultimately, it was determined that Sara was not designed for mining work. And at the very least, we had determined that Sara had no particular abilities, apart from bearing incredible likeness to humans. It seems that its memories are constantly growing, day by day. I have absolutely no idea just how it's built.
Then shall we dismantle it and find out? wish to know what makes it tick, then that's the fastest way to do so.
I can't do that. If we dismantle it, then we'd be unable to reassemble it. That's the consensus of all the members of Lab 9's members. The board of directors wouldn't ever let us dismantle it, given our current level of technology.
Excuse me.
What is it?
I don't think my name is Sara.
What?
I don't quite remember very well, but I think a long time ago. A long time ago. Rune used to be my name.
Do you mean...
And you're... Rudo, my brother.
Sara. Between your imperfect faulty memory or what we say, which do you think is more credible? Everything in those so-called memories of yours is all a veil, a lie, a shame. All that was implanted by your creator, Sid Savets, as some kind of sick joke. Don't ever utter the name Rune again. That's an order.
Understood.
Ever since Sara's confession, Rudo's attitude toward her changed completely. Why does Sara have Rune's memories inside of her? Did Sid actually intend to bring Rune back to life like this? Calling herself Rune? Behaving like Rune? Something as simple as that would have been child's play for Sid. But that isn't Rune. That would have been nothing but a fake created copy of Rune. Just what was Sid thinking?
There's no merit to this.
That is not true at all. Sid's original plan for these sisters was to introduce them to the church and let them take care of patients. As proof of that, I brought Sara to the abbot the other day. Not once during the entire time we were there did he realize that Sara was a machine.
And despite all that, he still gave us their disapproval.
Honestly, it's just disgusting. There isn't a man alive who'd ever feel comfortable around that bucket of bolts. I can't even tell when it's around or not because it doesn't look alive. And just look at that face! Who knows what's going on in its head?
I wholeheartedly agree with you. Even as the member of Lab 9 also passionately assert that Sara has demanded mechanisms to mimic emotion. What better is there in being able to reproduce that function? I'd love to hear some concrete, useful applications of this.
Well,
The fact is that the church has denied the proposal. This means that there'll be another hurdle to jump when it comes to using them in Zavets Medica. If we continue to shove the new model system down their throats, there will be sowing unnecessary discord between us and the people whom we work so hard to partner with. We're not using it in Medica, nor will we use it in the church. In other words, there's no merit to mass producing these things.
Rudo, why are you so stubborn about this? I wouldn't have expected that opinion from you. She may be the one and only automaton built in this entire world that's been built and equipped with this so-called emotional mechanism. If Sid was able to create something like that, then who knows what other mana-powered inventions lay ahead? Just what is a person? What is the conscious? What are emotions? This may lead to huge discoveries about the very philosophies of humans themselves. Certainly, mass production may be out of the question. Does that mean we can just disregard her entirely?
I, too, refuse to change my opinions on this. At the very least, I believe that it's far too early to scrap her.
And here we are, back to square one.
Albus, what do you think of all this?
I think... I think that it's far too early to dismantle her as well. While the systems running inside her certainly pique my interest, I can't even begin to understand what Sid's intentions were. I'm slowly beginning to think that Sid wasn't entirely mad when he created Sara.
Huh.
And not quite the answer I was expecting, but that means you're also opposed to her dismantling, yes?
Very well. We shall continue to observe it. See you all tomorrow.
Excuse me, Albus.
Sara? What are you doing out at this hour? Have you completed your tasks for the day?
Just a short while ago, actually.
I see. Which means you're off the clock now.
May I have a moment to speak with you?
Why the formality all of a sudden?
Well, just what am I?
That's quite the frank question.
Am I, on the inside at least, really?
Don't worry. Rudo won't know a word of this. Speak your mind.
Well, I was created just 2 years ago, right?
You were.
It's strange. Inside me are what seem to be childhood memories. They stretch back all the way to years and years ago, but I was just created only recently, so that can't be true. Albus, just... what am I? Am I a machine that was just born to be a tool? If that's the case, then why was I born with these memories?
I have no idea. And as for just what those memories are inside of you, the only person who could answer that question is no longer on this world.
That's Sid, right?
Correct.
Was Sid Zevitz an integral part of your life, Albus?
Yes. He was my best friend. We were practically like brothers ever since we were children.
Does Rudo take issue with the fact that I have these memories?
Well... They certainly don't put him in a good mood, that's for sure. Sara, let me just give you one word of advice, okay?
Okay.
Do not ever cause any trouble.
Hmm?
I'll be frank with you. Rudo has been wanting to dispose of you under the guise of dismantlement. He will find even the slightest excuse to do so, regardless of how minor or trivial the reason is.
Is that because of the memories inside me?
That's right. Look, Sara. I want you to listen carefully. If, and only if, you're about to do something wrong, consider that you are betting your entire being on the line. Do it with the resolve that that will be the end of everything.
My entire being?
That's right. You seem to have an ego, a proper sense of self-identity. There will come a time for you to assert that sense of self. I'm sure of it.
My self. But am I not the property of Zevit's enterprise? If that's the case, then I shouldn't have the right to bet myself. Do I?
If only you weren't just a machine. This is important. You'll come to understand someday or another. Another year passed. Lab 9 was able to produce 3 new prototypes using Sara as their model. However, not a single one operated as well. There was clearly something fundamentally different about how Sid had created Sara. Far too much time had passed with us not knowing what it really was. The board of directors had been split between those who wanted to observe and those who wanted to dismantle Sara. Some members switched from observe to dismantle. This was about a month ago. With that, Sara's dismantlement seemed all the more a reality. As the days went on, Sara's intellect grew rapidly. Using her own methods to measure and improve efficiency in both the mines and the routine work in residential areas, she began to finish her tasks ahead of everyone else. That kind of work ethic and behavior was just like Rune's. Exactly like Rune's. From there, more and more people began to develop a disgust for Sara's very existence. I think it was because she's too different. There was something about her existence that just triggered something in you instinctually. Just like Rune did. A great deal of people began to consider her as a threat subconsciously. The one who'd been most affected by this was none other than Rudo himself. Rudo! Is it true? Did you erase Sara's memories?
Seems like access to Sara's brain is protected by several layers of security. Vothal, Nidche, and Kirki managed to find a way to bypass the first level.
I'm not asking you to explain how. I'm asking why you erased her memories. All of the experience, the information, the knowledge she's accumulated.
Albus, you should have realized this by now. Since that Sid has succeeded in recreating Rune's memories quite faithfully in Sara. How he managed to do so, I have no idea. The way she moves and acts, they're all very reminiscent of Rune's own behavior.
And what does that have to do with why you erased her?
What does that have to do with it, you ask? Plenty. If, by some chance, even some small portion of Sara's own personality exists, then Sara, there could be no greater threat. I'm sure you're fully aware of how dangerous Rune was.
But
I'd like to hear an explanation for all of this. Do enlighten me on why things have turned out this way.
I'm sorry, sir. I honestly have no clue. Theoretically, all of our methods should be working.
Do you know what your name is?
Yes. My name is Sara. It was given to me by you, Rudo.
Looks like it's not working. That's strange. We're doing the erasure procedure by the book. There shouldn't be anything wrong with it.
Sir Rudo, this is just a guess, but we probably need the highest level of access privilege in order to erase the memories inside of Sara's core. We can't do anything with only our mana signature.
What about purging its internal mana altogether?
Well, if we did that, it would likely cease to function.
That's not just a likelihood. It'll completely and utterly shut down. It'll be good as scrap. Dismantling it would be the least of our concerns.
Sir Sid, I'm honestly not sure why all these complex safeguards were put in the first place. It's almost as if
he's making sure that no one could ever tamper with it.
Indeed.
Damn.
What should I...
Your memories haven't been erased. You ought to know already. Go back to work. Leave.
Sara? What's wrong at this time of night?
Ibis? You said that Sid was your best friend and an integral part of your life, right?
What brought this on all of a sudden?
Friends are important, right?
Well, of course they are. There isn't anyone more important in your life than your family and friends.
Thank you.
Sara, why? Of all the time for you to cause trouble, why at this critical point? You knew that there's going to be a votation regarding your... You knew that there's going to be a votation regarding you 4 days from now.
I remembered. I remembered the advice you gave me a long time ago.
Advice?
Good grief! What is it this time? I swear, if another emergency summons... Oh, Sara! What? Don't you even know how to greet someone?
Good afternoon, Mr. Grkouwlies.
This really is nothing but a defective piece of junk. I heard you even stole sediment at the mines earlier. What an absolute waste! We really should have just had you dismantled as soon as possible.
I apologize.
Discussing that matter is exactly why we have gathered here today. Please reserve your arguments for until the other members have come.
And just how many do you even expect to come? You academics and your ivory tower may not know, but the other members of the board of directors are already speaking as if dismantlement has been assured. You ought to be grateful that I've even bothered to go to the effort of attending this meeting to confirm all this.